we're very pleased to welcome two members of the band Nine Skies, Anne-Claire Rallo, who plays keyboards and writes lyrics, and Alexandre Lamia, who plays guitar, keyboards, and is involved in arrangements, recording, mix, and mastering. Hello, both of you, and thank you to take some time to answer our questions.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Hello, and thank you.
Although Nine Skies is releasing its fourth album, The Lightmaker, some people may lack a little knowledge about the band. Would you try to give us a little bit of history of the band so that we are on the same level?
Sure.
Okay, you can go, and yeah, you can go.
Okay. Well, I think we released the first album, if I'm right, on 2017. I think.
2017.
Yeah. Return Home.
2017. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we start with this concept album about a different character from a big city, a contemporary big city. And then the year after, we released the special edition of this album. The year after, I think, so it was
2019.
I'm really bad with dates. And we released the second studio album, which is called Sweetheart Grips. It was a concept album also. And then after that, we released the third album, which was an acoustic one, 520. And we released the kind of bootleg. That's not really a live album. It was a kind of bootleg from the live at Progambos on the same time. And the last one we released was a special edition of 520 with a DVD and a little documentary. So it's to go quickly because we cannot spend too much time on each album. But to go quickly, that was the disco of the band. And then now the next one on September, the 19th of September. We had few changes of lineup, but basically Alex and I are here since the beginning. So I don't know if I forget something, just to make quickly, but.
When we read about Nine Skies, many influences are popping up: rock, pop, progressive, jazz, and even more. But it's often interesting to know what are the bands or the musicians that that influence the creators. So, who would you say are some of your main influences?
That's a tricky question because.
Yeah.
Because I think each of us love a lot of various music.
Yeah. So many different.
Yeah, and on top of that, every member of the band love a different style, maybe more than one.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, I'm more, I guess, maybe more progressive and rock, and maybe Alex is a bit more. Into classical or music from movies, I don't know, Alex, if you want to.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of different progressive. We have a lot of different influences, but we have some bands that maybe connect a little, like Opeth or those kinds of bands that are also really eclectic in their way. So, but Anne-Claire is very into progressive band, maybe modern progressive, or I don't know, maybe some cold bands like Frost, Frost or those kind of bands. I'm more into movie soundtracks and Latin music as well, and classical and metal as well. So not a lot of progressive, maybe few bands, but not too much. And also all the other members, some people don't listen to progressive at all. So we are kind of going into progressive, but not deciding to do, okay, let's do progressive music. Let's do just music and let's make music and see what it comes up. But as there is a lot of influences, the music comes out very, very eclectic in the way. Progressive in the
Oh no, you're right. I think it becomes what they called progressive because they're just a mix of various, things. So that's
Yes,
Almost a name
exactly.
by
That is,
default.
yes.
Pardon?
Almost a name we
Yeah.
almost say
That is.
progressive by default. But
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But that's a cool
Ankla,
name as well because it globes a lot of different things. Progressive is a spectrum, so yeah, it's progressive in a way. Yes. Yeah.
exact. Ankla, you talked about lineup changes. Of course, one of those change was the tragic loss of Eric Bouillet, and how did the band reorganize itself when it's losing an important member? How did you tackle the way of going ahead, because you actually doing the Lightmaker 2 years after the precedent one is kind of an act of resilience, so that must be saluted, but you probably had to take some decisions to go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, we haven't talked about it for months, of course. We just did not even say a word about that. And then we start to talk about it, and we had like some other ideas that Night Skies. It seems that we were a bit afraid to go on this field, and we did not know really how to go on because Eric was really, we were, as I said, we were the first, every member is a member of the band, but I mean, at the beginning, it's really Alex and Eric and I. And we were used to start working, together on the album. And then, yeah, one day it came up, it just came up, and we just have this talk, and we decided that it was the thing to do, that just to go on with the band.
Yes.
And, yeah, Alex, I don't know.
But the Lightmaker it's kind of an album that defines a new way of making Line Skies alive. Because yeah, as Anne-Claire said, for months we said, okay, it's over. We don't want to continue that because how would it be without him, But at a certain point, we decided to take a full switch to say, if we let Nine Skies die, it's the real death of him. That's the quote of it, So if we keep Nine Skies alive, it's not over. It's not over for him, and that's not what he wanted. So we did a full switch to say, okay, let's go until the end, because that's what makes him alive, and the music of him alive as well. So we decided to compose, to make a lot of changes, to say, okay, let's go on tour, let's do an album for him. So everything came up as a wave after this decision, but it was a big decision. At first we didn't want to continue, but after we just wanted to run after all this music. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, that was hard, and that's still hard, but as we did that, as at least.
And the album is very warmly dedicated to him. The other change is the arrival of a new member, which is Johnny Martyr, the drummer. He was kind of involved with you guys before, but well, tell us about him, please. And how did your roads crossed?
Or did we?
How did your roads crossed, Johnny Martyr? How
sorry,
Nine
yeah.
Skies and Johnny Martyr became
yes, actually,
same
you're
unit?
right, because he was on the second album, Sweetheart Grips, but he was a guest on the track, but he was on the guitar, not on drums. That's the funny thing. Yeah, the fourth trader is playing guitar. Well, Johnny is a friend from a long time. I mean, from a long time. When we moved to England with Eric, he started to work on a music school, and then he met a lot of nice and amazing people. And Johnny was one of them because he's teaching drums there. And then that's how we had the chance to meet him. So we knew him for years now, and it's just when we needed to find a drummer, that was just an evidence for us as as a human relation, as a musician. I think we really find the good and the great lineup now, like with the bass and the drums. That's really amazing.
The Lightmakers.
Yes.
The Lightmaker is a concept album with a very special character, Rudy. Tell us about that special character. If I'm not mistaken, I've read that he's 1,001 year old.
That's it.
So that's interesting starting
well,
point.
not really. That's more that he got 101 lives actually. Previous.
Oh.
That's his last one. His last life. Yeah, he's living.
And can you tell us about that concept and who is that guy, Rudy?
Yeah, I will take that one because I will leave the music one to Alex after. So I guess we will talk about music. So that just the idea that came from the title, The Lightmaker, which was obviously a reference to Ulrich as well, the Lightmaker. But that's the reason also for each song is sung by a different singer, because each song is actually a character he had on the previous life he had, and he was telling about his life. Of course, it's impossible to do like 100 on 1,001 lives, but we just choose some. I wrote some lyrics and some we did not use because it was just not fitting into the singer we chose or into the music we had at the end. But that's the idea. That's the idea of each song is telling about a life, and without at any moment talking or naming the Lightmaker in the album. We never named the Lightmaker. We never. That just is here all over above, all above, and each thing is like, yeah, that's it. Like a diary a bit. You could maybe exchange the song like in a diary, but in the same time, that's the whole thing. You need to listen to the whole thing. So that's a bit of paradox, but
what made you choose some of those incarnations? Was it kind of you planned that you wanted to talk about that subject, or was it purely inspirational?
that's a mix. Some are ideas that Alex tell me, I imagine, or I would like to talk about, I don't know, maybe the dreamer, or I can't remember which one was which one. Disjointed, I think it was Alex.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just listen to the music he sent me, and I have things in my mind that are coming, and sometimes I just want to write about something, so I write and I send him the lyrics. So it's really, there's no rule. That it depends really. And sometimes it's just because the guest, the vocalist, I mean, I don't like to say the guest because they're really part of the thing. But the singer we choose, and we had to send the text. I thought once I had to change the text because I thought no, it doesn't really fit to him. We just changed that. So it really depends. There's no rule.
What was the character already associated with a singer, or did it come later that, for example, Martin Wilson would be that character and Riccardo Romano that character?
That's the same here. Sometimes I had already the text, and then we choose. We thought like for that one. I mean, this text is perfect, or this character is perfect. And sometimes I was just thinking, okay, we have him. He liked the instrumental song. I have to write something to fit with at the same time with the music and with the personality and the singing of course, of the musician. For Ricardo, it was a bit special because it was the first one we chose. It was like an evidence, yeah. because he was really close to Eric, and they're really similar in many points. And he's a dear friend, so it was like really an evidence. And the text was really already written. Actually, it was like a kind of poem at the beginning I wrote, and I sent to him, and he just took it and make it in his way to be able to sing it as a song.
You talking about the attribution of that character to that singer. When you have those guests, because it's almost a tradition for Nine Skies, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
starts to become, yeah, actually, it was not really the purpose. We did not start to say, okay, we will do that. But on the second album, we did that because it was for a charity. All the profits and the funds went to a charity. And then they all played the game, if I can say that. They were all lovely to do that for the charity. And on 520, the one after, it's just that because some guests on the previous one weren't available, and they say us, contact me for the next one because I love the music and like Steve Hackett, for instance.
Yeah.
He was on tour again for the Sweetheart Grips, and then he wasn't available, and he told us, contact me again. And then on 520, he just do this fabulous guitar solo.
Do you give some cues for those participation, or do you let the guests go?
Well, actually, we laughed sometimes because they ask us. Some are so humble, you know. That's amazing to see that musicians like that are so humble, and they say, like, "What do you want me to do?" Or they send the stems, and I said, "If it's not, is it okay, or I can do it again?" And we're like, "Is it a joke?" You know, we cannot. I mean, you cannot tell to Steve Hackett what he has to do, or Marco Midman, or I mean, that's you know that's.
Maybe,
so no,
maybe
I just we just send the music, and then I send the lyrics. And the thing is that, as you have noticed, the lyrics I wrote it on purpose, especially on the two last album, are quite long. That's not easy to sing. That's more think like something like oniric, a lot of metaphoric thing, and that's not short sentence. That's really hard for the singer to fit if they are not used. So I send them a lot of words, and as we don't send them any vocal lines, I told them each time. I told them you're totally free to cut, to move if needed, you know, to change the word. I'm okay with that. I mean, the base of the meaning is here. So that's all. We don't even send them a vocal lines. Nothing.
We're talking about the guests, but let's talk about you guys. How you are working on the songs? Is it always together, or someone will come with an idea, then which each one will work upon? So, or is it a mix of different things that you are doing as far as creating the songs?
That's what it's for.
Well, the compositional process changed with this album, unfortunately, of course, because before that, of course, all the albums were composed mainly by Eric and I. And after, for 520, it was with Ashraf, so we were free to do it. But for this album specifically, I composed all the songs. And after, so I did maybe 50% of the work, because after I sent to everyone the demos of the songs, and they made it their way. So they recorded it with their style, with their ideas as well. But the bass structure, I composed all the bass structure, the structural things, with all the arrangements and everything. But for the bass part, for the guitar parts of the other guitarists, for the drum parts, for, of course, the vocal parts, everything was recorded and composed and arranged with their style. So it's kind of it's a band thing, but it was composed by me on the ideas, you know. So the fact is that it was a compositional process that was kind of hard to do, because I was a lot afraid to say that people would say, okay, Nine Skies is not really a band, it's more like Alex Lamia with French, you know, because you know I have a distinct style of composing, and Eric has also a style. So the combination of that was Nine Skies. But you know, with this album, I was kind of alone to do that, so I was afraid of that. But the fact is that everyone was so involved and so dedicated to put their touch to the songs that it became Nine Skies, you know, the new Nine Skies sound. So I was really relieved when I heard all the new parts that was coming up with my basic ideas. So that was so great to say that you know, if we take the demos and we take the real things, it doesn't sound at all like I composed, and it's so great. It's really so great, you know. So you know, that's how it works. Maybe with the next one, I don't know, but a potential next one will really have a band meeting to really get the ideas of everyone at the start, you know. But for this special one, it was kind of a tribute that I paid to him. So I was engaged with the composition more than the others, you know, by default. So
It's true. It's true that it does sound like Nine Skies, because even with the different singers, uh, you have that unity sound. It sounds like Nine Skies. Maybe
It's
strangely
the most
enough, I
beautiful
don't know,
thing
but
you could say, I think.
it really is. Even sometimes, even Martin after Ricardo, there's kind of it slipped into the other one. It's really perfect. From what you described, you did not each one recorded its way. You did not recorded the old-fashioned way, everyone in the studio at the same time, I guess.
Oh no, definitely no, because everyone has well, the only member that recorded with me was the other guitarist, because we came up with some ideas after, you know, some additional guitars and everything. But for the drum and for the bass and for the keyboard, it was all in a separate studios. So the fact is that it was so original to let the member just listen to the demo and just come up with whatever they are feeling about it. It's not a directional composition, you know. It was just okay, I made the demo, listen to it and send me your parts, and it will be like that, because that's how you feel with the song. And yeah, the unity is there because everyone felt the vision of the demos. So it was just perfect. And even with the vocalist, because we can say maybe the unity was not there because it's a lot of different voices, but in fact they felt kind of the same, you know, the same coherence, sorry. But you know, you heard me. But yeah, that's the real thing. We are so proud to have all those different members with the same sound. That was our goal, and we are so proud of the real product, because it's the product of everyone, you know, at the end.
Talking about the song, two songs had a very special edge, I would say. The Chaotic and the Lost sounded a little more rockier, harder
Yeah.
at the end of Lost, of course, not the beginning. Was it just meant that way for the story? Is it a side of Nine Skies that maybe studied a little later on?
Well, you know, when I did the demos, honestly, I didn't think about it will be metal or it will be, you know, it will be rockier or something. It's just a part of what I like. So I said, okay, let's try to compose this way for those ones. And the chaotic, the theme of the chaotic is kind of the, you know, the lost, the losing of identity with, you know, some technological thing and everything. So everything was kind of robotic and artificial. So I said, okay, let's do something really catchy and punchy, you know. And the Lost, at the end of the Lost, of course, it's kind of a progression through all the songs. So everything is dynamically more progressive. So it goes to a climax. So all those things were kind of, it was natural to just go with this vibe, you know. But we're not thinking, okay, let's do a rock thing, let's do, you know. It was just it came up this way, and it was fine like that, you know. That's the thing.
Maybe if we at the end, you know, sometimes you've got too much stuff and you have to choose.
Yeah.
Maybe at this point we could say, okay, we love the both song the same way, but one is more maybe a bit low tempo, and we have already so much, so we will choose, you know, maybe the more metal one or the more rocky one. But if not, this is not this case, I think he doesn't really write music like thinking I will do that or I will do that. Just came up and yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Now the challenge is coming to you. You're going on the road. You have got a little tour in France this October, if I'm not mistaken. How many who will be on the road with you guys?
So on October, it's a kind of mini tour to start with the new lineup and the new set list. Then we have 4 dates in France, and Ricardo will be the singer with us for this tour. So he will be with us, and we have the next tour coming in the UK in March next year.
Yes.
We haven't announced it yet because I'm still waiting just for 1 or 2 dates to be confirmed. But the only one which has been announced yet is the Fusion Festival on the Sunday, March 3rd. I think that's the 3rd.
Yes.
About the lineup, we will probably I mean, stay with the of course we will stay with the same. If something comes about because Ricardo will be maybe not be able to join on each tour, you know. He's like he came because Ashraf cannot do that for some administrative reason, really silly reason for these dates, because he is living in Morocco. It's sometimes a bit difficult, but we'll do an announcement. I mean, before the tour, of course, to talk about that. But yeah, so two tours already, and hopefully another dates coming. Just one off, you know, just not a tour, but it might be announced soon. I hope.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys must be excited.
Oh, yeah,
yes, we are so excited because the only concert we did was before COVID, and we were kind of ready to go on tour after that, but everything happened, of course, but it stopped everything. So, but it's also a way to you know, to get the band together and to play together, to make the music alive, and also the set list, even if it's kind of it's called the Lightmaker tour. We will play all of different albums, so it will be really a retrospective of all the 4 albums we released. So it's not all on the Lightmaker, it will be on 520, on Return Home, on Sweetheart Grips. So we have a bunch of songs that we are currently rehearsing, and we will we're so excited to rock the stage with everyone. It will be really, really good.
Too bad I'm far from you guys. I would love to see that.
Yeah, we would love to come, you know, but
tell touring the new album. Did you add some other feedback than me, for example, about that new album? Because I love it. I'm telling you, it will be on. Obviously, this will be an album on my top list of the year. But do you add some other feedback that came to you somehow?
Yes.
Well, so far, we just sent, because we were really waiting for the release date to send in a massive way, you know, the thing. So we sent it to a few trustful and well-known contacts like you. I mean, we're used to, you know, to work together. But the few ones we've got so far are all the same and are all really great. So we're just a bit amazed and really glad about that. Yeah, really grateful.
Yes. We didn't think it, it's not like that. We were really kind of afraid of releasing that. Well, I was at least really
we were. We were.
we were already afraid because it's kind of a new renaissance of it. So it's it's special. This album is special. So we felt maybe people will say, okay, it changed too much because with all the different singers and everything, maybe it will lose some unity, like you said. But in fact, its feedbacks were all the same. It's the opposite. They really loved. Well, also everyone has their preference, but overall, it was just so great to hear, and so we're so thankful for all the feedbacks. So it's great. It's great.
Well, you guys, I wish you the best of luck for the Lightmaker, 18th of September, for the
Yes.
tour, for the Lucky Devils. We'll see you guys performing. More the better. Thank you so much. Really, really great time talk to you, and even greater time listening to you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time. Yeah. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.